tired of the same old drivel? Then watch Kung Fu Hot Dog for boobs, bums, and everything else. And that's just the men. I feel like Bruce Campbell from Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 3. Because when I woke up this morning, I thought to myself, what weird world have I just stepped into?
Her voice may be almost as important to gamers as Lara's double pistols, curves, and skimpy shorts.
Kung Fu Hot Dog
is a Kung Fu renegade cop. Now he must defeat the most evil Kung Fu master in the world.
For a modern gaming audience.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures.
I said, Mummy, I like the way the lady runs.
Get ready for a new world of unspeakable adventures, never before shown in a motion picture. Get ready for
Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Alright, no retreat, no surrender.
But this lovely foxy reporter, I should say, had this to say about Joe Biden's latest weird episode.
Falls on Transgender Visibility Day, which is traditionally on March 31st. But this year, not only did Fairfax County, Virginia, make an official proclamation for Easter Sunday, so did President Biden. Biden was the first president ever to issue an official proclamation for Transgender Day of Visibility, and this was back in 2021. And in his proclamation this year, he said, quote, Today we send a message to all transgender Americans. So F you if you're British or Israeli or Russian or Japanese or Congolese. You are loved. You are heard. You are understood. You belong. You are America, and my entire administration and I have your back. You better choose your words very carefully, Mr. Biden. Is Joe getting confused with Transamerica, the once great airline that took you from destination A to B? I guess not, because Transamerica Airlines was to do with aviation, flying, not a modern day retelling of what that meaning actually translates to. Translate. Oh, hang on a minute. They're probably going to make a thing out of that as well. Now, why do I bring up this god-awful take from Biden? I don't get political here on this channel. I like to avoid it as much as possible. But I tell you why, because, again, Xbox doubling down on we've got to have flat pancaked women in our video games now because we don't want to offend female gaming developers who are forced to sit down and create sexy female characters like Joanna Dark from Perfect Dark. That's why that game is in turmoil at the moment as well, because people want to see a third person Joanna Dark again, don't they? Because in the original games you can go into third person mode, and the cover of the game that I've got, perfection. But yeah, you know what? Even if she's a base looking redhead, you can't give her big titties anymore, can you? But of course, that leads me on to the news of Stellar Blade. Now, some of you have asked me, am I going to be making a video about the game? Yes, I will be, because as of today, I'm actually going to be ordering a PlayStation 5. I don't want to be honest. I would rather this game had come out on PC on day one on April 26. I was holding out for that, but I guess there's future plans for that to be happening. So it's such a shame, actually. So I'm going to have to go on Amazon today and order a PlayStation 5. So hopefully, folks, if all goes well and it's in stock, I should be uploading a video in the next 3 days with me playing Stellar Blade demo and giving you my insights and my thoughts. But there was an interesting story here, actually, from IGN France. Now, I thought this was pretty hilarious. So, wait, hang on, whoa. Let's have a look at this. I have a funny feeling PlayStation California higher-ups are still screaming, knowing the only reason they have to cope with Stellar Blade is due to financial reasons. Asian market is big, and they can't keep making slops. It's everything they hate, and it became the very thing to save them.
Sony is reportedly changing its standards for sexual content in new PlayStation games in response to the Me Too movement and live streaming. Oh, live streamers where you get big busty maidens who play games and all the male viewers are just giving them money in the hope of seeing extra cleavage or a bit more on show. Yeah, because female streamers are saving the day when it comes to being absolutely based and making a fool of the male viewership who constantly watch their channels and their streams. Yeah, supporting Stellar Blade is an important thing because, again, Digital Foundry, Alec Battaglia, he highlighted with a very simple comment of,
I know you were talking about the character from a bygone era. I do think the character model was actually like very distracting in not a good way because like with the camera angles chosen, it just felt like this game seems like a game that came out in like 002 in terms of its, like character design. It's like a bit old and not flattering, I don't think, for a modern audience. In comparison to something like Forspoken.
It's outdated from the 2002s. The same 2002, by the way, where the gaming industry saw a 10% spike in profits to £31 billion that year. At that time, gaming was just finding a niche again, wasn't it? People were getting very excited about using the consoles that were released back then. And now it's kind of got to this stage now where apparently you've got to look back at what entertainment we had and we've got to desensitize our viewers. We've now got to give them the most ridiculous depictions of women possible, i.e. make them look like dudes, because that's what we're all crying out for, isn't it? So I want to find this story very quickly. Yeah, so this is IGN France, and they did a review on Stellar Blade. Now, this is the French translation. So my French isn't great, but I can see here, I can make out a few words. I believe this is a female reviewer. So she says, hypocrite auteur design, which I am taking as is a hypocritical female depiction of what a woman is supposed to look like. Jamais de femme. Par maintenant, parlons la mannequin. So she looks like a doll rather than an actual woman. So what Learning the Law has actually said is, for IGN France is already insulting Stellar Blade and the character design for Eve, claiming it was made by someone who has never seen a woman. Well, the director is married. Here is his partner. I think that's what he meant to say, IGN. I think someone is jealous. And look at it. South Korean woman, design. I now think she's working on Nikke, Goddess of Victory, or it could be another anime game. And she's got no problem, has she? And does she look like she's being held hostage? All right, she's not smiling, but maybe she's not a very smiley type of person. But she's designing the game. Shin Jae-eun was happy to be body scanned for the character of Eve. They could have scanned her face, but I guess the director and art designers had something else in mind for the character, so that's fair enough. IGN France is already being a bunch of morons. Learning the Law says, and this guy's very good by the way, there's a reason my profile says protect Stellar Blade at all costs. Forget about the game. The entire idea, how the team was assembled, and the ideology behind it is everything. Absolutely everything the Western status quo hates. It's a war against female beauty in fiction and 100% clear. Which brings me on to Kotaku of all people, because again, the demo's been released for a few days now, and here's what Kotaku and their writer Levi Winslow had to say. Stellar Blade's demo is a delicious amuse-bouche of stylish action. Y'all! That's how you start a journalistic piece. Y'all, the Stellar Blade demo is finally live on PS5. It's a short little vertical slice of developer shift-ups, character action game. So while we still see a lot of more before we come to any conclusions, I can at least say that the demo has me stoked for the full release. Why? Well, like the previews from earlier this week have said, Stellar Blade is a little Bayonetta, a little Devil May Cry, a little Nier Automata, and a little Sekiro. A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side. This guy's not original because he's obviously watched other reviews out there and he's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to use that in my journalistic piece. I can't wait. I'm going to get a Pulitzer Prize. Based on this brief 2-hour experience, well, 2 hours is 2 hours, dude. It's not brief. It's 2 hours. 15 minutes is brief. 2 hours is a long time. Shift Up has a banger on its hands, which is quite the contrast to the fact that didn't Kotaku said, or wasn't it Alyssa Makante who said,
it's like, get new material. You've been doing the same joke for 10 years.
But yet this guy, if you want to call him that, is saying the complete polar opposite. Levi Winslow, by the way, is this gentleman right here. Levi L, like L Bell, Winslow, Kotaku staff writer, GMG Union Stan, blind, non-binary, trash bud. They, them, DM me. Well, the dude's blind. How are you going to DM him? I'm just joking. Yes, you've got special keyboard keys. I understand. I'm just joking. Oh my gosh. But BLM forever. Of course he would say that, wouldn't he? Wow. Let's have a look at you, Mr. Blind L. Winslow. But how can he tell that Eve is a concoction of Nier, Sekiro, and Bayonetta? I mean, Matt Murdock, Daredevil, yes, he can actually outline what he sees, so that's kind of clear. Yes, he's a Marvel comic book character, but I know where they went with that writing, and the writing is awesome, by the way, for that and the TV series. And even the Ben Affleck film had some good nuances from that character design from Marvel. So that's our fellow here, Mr. Levi Winslow, getting very excited about Stellar Blade. So IGN France, obviously hypocritical. One of their biggest sex icons was Brigitte Bardot, and I like her. She's a very based woman, actually. I liked her non-political opinions outside of the film industry, and I think she's a national treasure. But this is IGN.com, America. They talk about the first 20 minutes of the demo gameplay from the 29th of March, and they give the usual generic breakdown of how everything starts and ends. But I liked the comment section, which I thought was hilarious, which, by the way, IGN did not bother to address. So Klaus von Bahr says, finally a strong female protagonist that didn't hit every branch of the ugly tree on the way down. An exceptional gameplay as well. Charlie B424, I never understood that trend. Who wants to see an ugly character for an entire game? Well, Charlie, your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. Apparently, we're all perverted if we decide to stare at a woman in a video game for so long. I mean, Homeland Security, you're doing this extensive study, aren't you, on how video games radicalize the men who play them. So apparently when I play Dead or Alive Volleyball or Tekken, and I always use a very sexy female character, and I play as her, and then I'm going to play as Eve in Stellar Blade very shortly. I'm going to go out there, aren't I? I'm going to start leering at women and making them feel uncomfortable on trains because apparently the video game told me to do that. That's what you're hoping for, isn't it? Well, I've got news for you, Homeland Security. I've actually got two separate personalities, and yeah. And that's it, folks. It's the end of Sunday, almost in the UK, but wherever you are in the world, have yourselves a good one. And if, like me, you enjoy a bit of Robert Palmer from 1980, ooh, I'm looking for clues with a magnifying glass, inspecting those boobies, bums, and legs in a nice digital safe space. And if I were you, and if you were me, you should check out the next video. Oh yeah.